remains the same.
Welcome to the artist interview right now. Introducing OE the Thrilla. What's going on? What's going on, man?
Oh man, chillin', man. Blessed, you know.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Yeah, blessed.
Got a few questions for you, man. You know, for the people.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and get it started. So what was life for you growing up, man?
Shoot, growing up, well, first I grew up in a little section, small town of Dallas, Texas, a little section called Holly Hills.
Okay.
You know, it had its ups and downs, you know. It was rough at times, you know, but overall, you know, it was more like a family environment coming up, and you know, it was what we was. It helped make me the man I am today. You know, give me the common sense and intelligence I have on that note. Yeah, but it was, I mean, I guess it's rough as any other hood coming up. You know, maybe a little bit rougher, you know, but it is what it is.
Okay, cool. So how was your high school experience like?
High school experience. Alright, it was like this. I'll be eating, we'd be at lunch, be eating. Mm-hmm. Somebody be like, say, oh, man. Say, man, come bust freestyle, man. Come hear the beat, come do this, come do that, man. Come on. So I'll be eating on my way to the gym. We'd be up there freestyling and shit. You know, and that's when I really got on the freestyle, you know, shout out to DJ Screw and the Screwed Up Clique and Switch Ass and all them boys, because even before then we weren't freestyling, you know, we were just writing and whatnot. And plus, you know, I was a little bit of a football jock, you know, so.
Also, you was on the football team too.
Yeah, I played football, you know, I played some D-line, played linebacker, fullback.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, you know, pretty athletic.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Yeah. So, like, who was your musical influences coming up, man?
I said DJ Screw, Fat Pat, Lil Kiki, Big Pokey, Big Mo, shit, Too Short, E40, UGK, A-Ball MJG, shit, man, it's a bunch of other I can name, but I'm gonna tell you who my favorite two artists are.
Okay.
Scarface and Eminem.
Okay, Scarface and Eminem. You mind elaborating on why?
Scarface, one thing about Scarface, he can be rapping about something, telling you a story, and you listen to Scarface rapping, it's almost like you're not even listening to somebody rap, it's like you reading an audiobook almost. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then talking about the references things from the streets and things he, you know, experienced and coming up and all that. So that's why Scarface is one of my favorite. And Eminem, just the wordplay, just shit, man. Just like all the songs I've ever heard, I never heard anybody wreck Eminem, even from the Slim Shady shit.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, hey, who's this goofy white boy coming out? You know, but he was still going hard and just lyrically, like, I think those two are the best of all time, in my opinion. So if you really listen to my rhymes, even from shit, a teenager to now, I say my rhymes have rhymes, and that's because of Eminem, and also I can stick on the subject and tell a story because of Scarface, you know, not to bite their styles and the thing like that, but like I say, that's who I was raised on.
Okay. So Eminem and Scarface, cool. So how did you learn how to make beats?
I learned how to make beats. I was 15. I was begging my mama, buy me a keyboard. Mom, please buy me a keyboard. I think it was like for my birthday or something, 15th birthday. Mm-hmm. She bought me, it was a Roland XP60. I had no clue how to work this shit. With no YouTube around, I didn't even look at the instruction manual. I just fucked with it for a couple of weeks and then started figuring out how to make beats. And at first, the beats weren't by shit. At first, they weren't by shit. Some of them was offbeat. Shit, I didn't know how to work out the tracks. Shit, man, it was a bunch of shit. But after time went on, started learning how to make them mugs. And then I got me, then I bought me a Triton. Shoot, I've been making beats ever since. So that's what, 1990 something, shit, I can't even remember. But yeah, that's how I started.
Okay, cool. So speaking of beats, do you have like a producer that you maybe, like favorite producer?
Excuse me. My favorite producer of all time is Dr. Dre. Of course, it's fucked up because a lot of people say I look like him. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's fucked up, but yeah, Dr. Dre, the melodies.
Okay.
Timberland, because Timberland will come up with a beat and it'll be all over the place, but you know, he'll make it work. And you know, some of his sound effects and shit. Timberland, see who else I really like? No D, Swishahouse. I mean, not Swishahouse, shit, I'm sorry. No D from Rec Shop. That's one of my favorite producers too. So I took a little bit, you know, from each one of them as well, you know, with a Dallas, Texas Southern swing, and that's how I kind of developed my own style.
Okay. Is there any current producers today that you kind of like familiar with, or that you currently like?
Dark Child. What's the dude? Just Blaze. I like Just Blaze. I like Pharrell. What's the guy? The new guy? Name? Shit. What's the guy name from the East Coast? Mustard. DJ Mustard.
Oh, Mustard. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of that new cat's name. I can't even remember his name. He what's the name of that fucking song? The Box. You know, comes in the box. The producer that produced that, he produced Nothing to Lose, I think, for Lil Baby. I don't even know his name, but yeah, I like that guy's production too.
Okay. So how did you get started into the music industry?
How did I get started? Me and AD Addiction, still currently DSR. We used to always go over his uncle's house, DJ Curious. Shout out to DJ Curious. We used to always go over there, and sometime probably Ken Dog would come with us. Psycho B would come with us sometimes. Shit, we used to skip school sometimes and go over to DJ Curious' house and just freestyle. So we'd be over there freestyling. And one day, he come to us, we over there, and he was like, hey, this guy George, at Tea Time Music, he got a store inside of Boom Bazaar. He put out a couple other mixtapes or whatever. He was like, man, he wanna do some music with y'all. So at that time, it was me, Addiction would go over there, like I said, Psycho B would go over there, Ken Dog would go over there, Big Tuck would go over there, Tuck's homie Stay Down would go over there. Freddie Kane, shout out to Freddie Kane TV, he got this show on the WB right now. Freddie Kane, he would be over there. And a couple of more cats, I can't even remember exactly who it was, but you know, we come over there, so just keep it real. The point of this interview, I gotta keep it real, I gotta be honest. Alright, Curious came to us and he was like, hey George, wanna do, you know, something with y'all. He heard y'all music, he like y'all freestyle, y'all rap. And Curious pretty much told us, we're like, hey, you know, there's been some questionable business practices, you know, concerning some things involving Tea Time Music at the time. You know, he was like, you know, he's an influential guy. He got some money. You know, he got the influence and the power. He know a lot of powerful people, but he was just like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm not really sure about this. So, you know, us being 16, 17, we're like, yeah, man, come on, because we ain't never been in a real studio. You know, so we'd be over my partner Ken's house, over in the garage with the keyboard, over there practicing our raps and stuff, 13, 14 years old. I used to walk from Ivy Ridge. We used to walk from Ken and Carey, get out of school, Fat Reggie, let me see who else, Lil Pop, Gary used to be over there with us, Tight, I think his name is Tight. He used to be over there. There's a couple other cats I can't remember right now, so there's no disrespect, just my memory just, you know, is going as I'm getting older. But so he talked to George. George was like, all right, they want to do it. He was still a little bit skeptical. He didn't know how the business was gonna go. So we talked about it, and then we was like, all right, cool. You know, we're gonna go ahead and start making mixtapes and shit. And I remember we was on the way, me and AD, we was leaving the hood, we was going over there to the studio. shout out to Cap at the Bomb, because Cap had that studio over there. We spent a lot of our time and made a lot of our music over there. So we took the long way from Holly Hills. We go down 20, we come all the way up 67, and we like, shit, we finna make history, you know, like we finna touch the world, 17 years old. And to make a long story short, you know, that's how it started. And then the first volume, rest in peace, Hawata. It was AWAX and Pico Train, Hawata, Tuck, me, Addiction. I'm trying to think if I'm leaving somebody out. But yeah, but we made the first mixtape. And I remember we was in the studio, and you know, we in there smoking, drinking, whatnot. And everybody like, I had the first beat on, who gonna go, who gonna go? We was nervous, like I say, because we ain't never been in a real studio before. So I was like, fuck it, I jumped that bitch out. So officially, you can say I was the first person to ever grace the mic so far as a DSR mixtape. So make a long story short, that's how we, a long story long, shit, that's how we got started.
Okay, cool. So when did you realize you were going to be an artist, or when did you realize that you fell in love with music?
Shit, I fell in love with music since I can remember. Hell, I remember I'd be riding with my pops, rest in peace Glenn Mills Jr. My dad, we'd be riding, me, him, my mama, my brother, my sister, and we'd be riding wherever. My old man, you know, he just had this tape of classic rock songs, classic rock, some blues, some gospel, classic rock. So I grew up listening to a lot of classic rock. And I fell in love with it because of the composition of the notes, like the sweetness of the melodies and shit like that, singing. So I think I was, what, maybe 5th grade? I'm like, shit, you know, how would it sound if one of my songs was on the radio? That's what I was thinking. So, excuse me, I started writing, I had me a notepad, and I'm writing, I'm cussing every other word and shit. Like I said, I'm in the 5th grade, I'm cussing every other word. So one day, I'm in school. I come back to school the next day. Somebody went in my desk, one of the old hating ass classmates. I don't remember who it is right now, if I call your name, bitch. But so teacher like, you know, Mr. Mills, he wrote this nasty letter. So the way my old man was, my old man looking at me, he had this ball of sweat coming down his forehead, and he looked at me with this look. And you talking about paralyzed and terror?
Man.
And I just knew I was gonna get my ass whooped, get in trouble or something. But you know, he didn't say nothing. He let me make it. You know, which wasn't very often. So yeah, I just kept writing since then. I've been writing ever since then. You know, and just with me, just like everybody else who's ever started out writing and singing, you know, you always mimic whatever song it is that you hear on the radio was going on at the time, damn near like a copycat, you know, until you find your own style. So that's what it was.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Just stepping away a little bit from music, we're gonna talk a little bit about COVID-19. What do you think about the COVID-19 pandemic?
COVID. I think the COVID is a means of population control.
So you mean like depopulation strategy?
Yeah, just like the, you know, the 1%ers and, you know, all that other shit. Yeah. I think it was made in the lab, just like a lot of them shit. A lot of them shits, just like they got the Native Americans with the what was it? What was they putting in them blankets?
Oh, smallpox.
Smallpox.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those type of situations. Do I think it's real? Yep. Do I know some people who have COVID and came back from it? Yep. So I know it's real, but shit, they got us walking around like China and shit. They had China walking around with masks 24/7, 365. We over here walking around like China and shit. You can't go into a store here if you ain't got no mask. You can't go in there and get your essential needs, you know, your goods and shit. So it's just fucked up everything. But I think we're gonna come back from it. But I also think people are still gonna be wearing and buying masks for the next 5 years. You know, so it's not something that's just gonna disappear fast. But you know, we'll get back to business as usual.
So you think there's gonna be like a vaccine or something in the near future?
They already working on a vaccine. I ain't taking that shit. Get you some elderberry. Get you some elderberry. Keep your vitamin C up. Wash your hands. Use sanitizer. You know, wear the mask. And the fucked up thing about it is too, we got the mosquitoes with the West now. So, you know, just my own personal thing. I think these mosquitoes gonna be biting people with COVID and transferring it to other people who got COVID. And then we got the cold and flu season coming up, so it's gonna be even worse. But like I said, we'll get back to it.
So do you also think it's like a political agenda too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything that happens is a political agenda. You know, like what was his name? Ventura, the ex-wrestler. He said politics is just like wrestling. You know, on camera you hate each other, but you know behind closed doors you go on to each other's kids, bar mitzvah and birthday parties and eating dinner together and going on trips together and shit like that and having personal phone calls. So I think everything has a political agenda behind it.
Speaking of political, what do you think about Trump?
Trump. I thought that the worst president of my time was George W. Bush until Donald Trump got in office. Now, George W. Bush is a very funny guy. A very funny guy. And actually, that's one of the presidents that I wouldn't mind sitting down and having a talk with, you know, and relaxing, chilling, just hearing all the bullshit he got to say and laughing. But I think Trump is misinformed. I think Trump is ignorant to a lot of facts. I think Trump is a racist. I think Trump is a fascist. I think Trump is a socialist. I think Trump is, yeah. That's what I think of Trump.
So, what do you think about police brutality in America right now?
Police brutality. All right. I'm gonna say this. A lot of people gonna get mad at me, but I gotta keep it 100. You know, police brutality against us just didn't start. It's been going on since we got here, since the first police force was made or whatever. You know, since the first time we ever got in contact with police, since we've been over here. It's been going on since Rodney King. It's been going on since Trayvon. It's been going on since Big Floyd. And it's gonna continue to go on. I mean, it's like the boys of Chicago. We were just talking about this. The boys of Chicago, I'm not saying I'm for or against it. So, for obvious reasons, but the facts are, you know, them boys got together, them P Stones and them folks and Latin Kings, and you know, about 30-some gangs got together. They said they're gonna shoot police on sight if they see them with their guns drawn. So it's kind of like, you know, like Malcolm X said about JFK getting killed. You know, your chickens come home to roost. You know, it's unfortunate that a lot of innocent people are gonna be hurt in this war and in this process. But at the same time, you know, you can push the most nerdiest, most square person on the planet and keep pushing and pushing and pushing them into a corner. You know, shit, eventually you're gonna have to deal with them. But at the same time, we also got to quit killing each other too. Now people say, you know, hey, well, you know, this and that, but the police are there. That's fine and that's cool, and you're absolutely right. Police brutality is, you know, wrong on so many different levels. We also got to do what's right and what's best for our people too.
All right.
We gotta love our people as well. We gotta quit practicing the generational curses and perpetuating their self-hate. That's exactly what we're doing.
All right. So I got another question. Then we're gonna take a break.
All right.
Are you spiritual or are you religious?
I'm spiritual. Spiritual.
You mind elaborating on why you're spiritual?
All right. Dig it. Jesus, Yeshua, Christo. What's a couple of other translations for his name? Anyway, he didn't tell us to join religion. He told us to follow him. So with that being said, you know, I'm seeking God and His Son. You know, I'm not seeking a religion because a religion is basically, in my opinion, it's a group that tells you either you have to believe or you have to pretend to believe what we believe in order to be one of us. So that's why I reject religion in all aspects, and I'm just spiritually seeking my Maker and His Son and our Savior. And that's how I feel about it.
Okay, cool. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back.
Boy, stack up butt naked on my keyboard making these beats. Brown slab so nasty, glass the can of paper, brown for heat of meat.
Alright, y'all, we back in the interview right now. We the Thrilla. Interview going on. So we finna get back into these questions right now. So, who are you feeling in Dallas?
Say, hold on, before we get started, bro. My bad, I don't mean to cut y'all. Yeah, Sean will beat that boy doing this thing too right now, man. So shout out to that boy too.
Righteous. And who are you feeling lyrically in Dallas right now?
Excuse me. Shout out to my boy C Strokes, rest in peace. Boy, that was a fool. Gator Man, he from my hood too, you know what I'm saying? No point intended. 7 Shots. Went to school with that boy, we from the same hood too. Quinn Fox. Of course, Yella and Mo doing their thing. Another cat. Think he locked up right now. Fat Boy Fresh. That boy was doing something before he got locked up. Let me see who else. Damn, what's that boy name? King Mr. Kid. Shout out to my boy Maximilian. That boy that boy, he on that battle rapping shit real tough. He be making videos too and songs too. So shout out to my boy Maximilian.
Okay, cool. How deep were you in the music game, and were you ever signed?
Yeah, I mean, we was, had the whole DSR thing. It was a point in time I was signed to T-Time Music as a producer right around the Universal deal. So, met a lot of people. Pretty much, there was a point in time where you had to mention DSR, you had to mention Swishahouse, Boss Hog Outlaws, and Dirty Third Records damn near in the same breath on and Power Wow and Chameleon. So it was pretty deep enough.
And speaking of DSR, I know a lot of people wanna hear questions about that. How long were you with DSR?
Say about 7-8 years, something like that. Before a lot of people want to know this too. I know this off, well, its own subject is off, but it's on. Before I actually made the decision to no longer be a member of the group, which that's another story.
Okay. What was your experience with DSR like?
My experience with DSR, overall it was cool. Learned a lot. Learned a lot of shit the hard way. So far as business wise, traveled a lot, saw a lot of people, met a lot of famous people. Got to do music, which is something that I love and still love to do to this day.
That's awesome. Why didn't you sign the DSR contract before the major deal?
This one of the ones everybody been asking.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah, this one of the ones everybody been asking. All right, let me backtrack that a little bit to get to the answer. All right. When we was the hottest shit in the streets, you'd have people from different records. Like, we used to do a lot of shows with a lot of different people, a lot of famous people. We was always somewhere at some show or some concert. Like I said, with Slim Thug and them, with Mike Jones, Swishahouse and them. Always, we'd be like, oh yeah, y'all niggas heard too. Yeah, y'all, we ain't know y'all. Come on, man, let's go on the train and let's smoke. This, you know what I'm saying? This type of shit was. So, anyway, after we got a buzz, filed on mixtapes up until I think I was on up to volume 5, volume 6 or something like that, and then had the real DSR album, which I had 3 tracks on. One of them had Mike Jones and Magnificent. Matter of fact, it was on I Need a Beat, and I produced that. Matter of fact, I made that beat when I was 16. Make a long story short about that. And Tuck heard it. He was like, all right, because It sounds like that Too Short, I Need a Freak.
Okay.
And for all the screw heads, one of my favorite DJ Screw freestyles was I Need a Bitch.
Yeah.
Which is I'm trying to think, was it Screw to the World, Screwed Up, something like that. Anyway, it had Big Pokey and Fat Pat on there, and DJ Screw rapped on there. So, you know, it started off, and shit, that's some shit I grew up, you know. We'd be over there in Holly Hill shit. We'd be riding 14, 15, shit, drinking syrup, smoking weed. Sometimes, it was a little that Sherman Hemsley in the play. You know what I'm saying? to keep it 1,000.
Right.
And we be riding, boom. And it was like damn near that was like our anthem growing up. You know what I'm saying? My older partners, you know what I'm saying? And shit, even the ones up on us. So anyway, I'm getting off subject. That one, and so after the album and shit. You had, I remember notably, we was at a show and it was I think it was Baby or Slim, I think it was Slim from Cash Money. He was over there talking to Tuck, so he was like, Tuck came over there, he was like, hey George, Slim gave me his card, told me to call him. So being a businessman, I'm assuming that what George was thinking at the time, okay, we got this label hollering this person, we got that label trying to give it this person, fuck it, I'm gonna make them sign a contract. So what happened with that situation is, even before that, backtrack again, there's something a lot of people don't know. George was talking to Michael Watts, okay? And then George was talking to DJ Curious and basically told him like, hey, Watts said that, he was like, hey, Curious, Watts said he thinks I need to cut the group down to 4 people. He said, it should just be Tuck, Fat Tom Tom, and OE. So Curious basically told him, he was like, you got DSP, you got Freestyle Heavyweights, which is Tom Tom and Fat Group. You got a couple other cats, like I say, Hawat the Herd. You got the boy from Sunnyside. So Curious fought to, keep the numbers up to the way they were at the beginning.
Right.
So that was in George's mind, like I said, he wanted me, Tuck, Tom Tom, and Fat. But, it didn't end up going like that. So came around the time, it was like, all right, we need to cut the group down, And there was a lot of political shit that went on, a lot of behind the back shit that I didn't know was going on until, recently. But anyway, we get up to the office, and it was like, hey, George called, hey, OE, I need you to come to the office, sign this contract. He called everybody up there to sign the contract. Yeah. So we get in the lawyer's office, and George basically was like, hey, I'm like, hey, George, it's only 7 contracts. I'm like, what Kenny Brown contract? He was like, yeah, OE, this all we have is 7 right here. So anyway, my uncle, he's working at Power Quinn. So I called my uncle went to law school. I'm like, yeah, hey, we got these contracts. I'm like, you come up to the office with me, he was like, yeah, I bet, give me 30 minutes, I'm gonna get out of work. Went up there, Uncle looked at the contract. 30 seconds. Nephew, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it took him that long.
Just like off the muscle. Man. Nephew, this ain't gonna work. So we get in there, and George was like, hey, these are contracts right here. Whoever don't want to sign them, get the fuck up right now. You're not in the group anymore. Or sign them right now.
Ooh-wee.
It was just like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was up there with Addiction. And Addiction was like, yeah, bro, I'm not gonna sign, bro. I'm like, shit, they leaving Ken and Psycho B out. I'm like, I ain't finna sign. I'm like, plus, my uncle looked at the contract and I already said the contract ain't gonna work. So, long story short, I didn't sign. I was like, hey, George, let me just keep making beats for y'all. He was like, all right, bet, OE. All right. So, Addiction signed the contract. Fat signed it. Tom signed it. Tuck signed it. Double T signed it. Lil Ronnie signed it. And just keeping it 1,000, like I said, he my partner. I ain't gonna say that. But long story short, if I would have done it all over again, I probably would have signed the contract. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Not for the business aspect, but for the aspect of when it comes to music and shit, I wouldn't necessarily have to, you know, go through some of the shit that I go through right now with my name getting back in the streets and the buzz and shit. You know what I'm saying? I still would have been there. Got married, ran a couple of businesses, was jailed a couple times. You know how it go, but I wouldn't have had to go through some of the same shit. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's a lot of people who was mad at him. But at the end of the day, like I said, if I could have did it over, I would have did it. I would have did it for that reason.
So how were you guys paid per mixtape / albums?
That's another one a lot of people not gonna like. But it is what it is.
Well, that cigarette on that one.
Yeah, man. How we got paid at first was we was giving CDs.
Okay.
Like, you know, it wasn't no cash, it was a certain amount of CDs we was giving to sell. And that's how we got paid at first. And it's crazy because I learned a lot. Like, people do a lot of shit to become popular, and people do a lot of shit to stay popular, and a lot of sucker ass shit. I don't waste energy and time in that because it's crazy. Like, you know, DSP, it was a bunch of us. Like, it wasn't just the people that would rap. It was like probably like 30, 40 of us. All of us were partners. You know what I'm saying? Some of us got it tatted in blood like me. And you know, some people will be like, yeah, man, I ain't gonna buy a CD from you. I'm gonna buy it from your partner. Like, all right, whatever. After Volume 2, Volume 3 came out, all of a sudden, people wasn't fucking with me, start fucking with me.
Man.
Yeah, bro, you know, I was just, you know, playing with you, fucking with you, you know, you be my real partner and shit, you know, I just be with all that type of hoe ass shit. But that's how we got paid the first couple of mixtapes, and then it transitioned to where we would get a couple of $100 per mixtape. You know, each one of us would get a couple of $100 per mixtape. And there was a time, which is just another part that people not gonna necessarily like. We was calculating, matter of fact, we was at DJ Curious house one day, we was calculating how many mixtapes was being sold, how many DSR mixtapes was being sold. So if you got $10, $15, $12, however much it is per whatever that is, and this much is being made off of it, we was like, hey, you know, we probably need to be paid a little bit more than what we're getting paid. Mm-hmm. So we had a meeting at DJ Curious house. You know, we all came together and we talked about it. Then we called George over there. And pretty much, you know, the meeting didn't go very well, to make a long story short.
Man.
And yeah.
Okay. So I know this is another question that people want to hear about. So who do you feel went the hardest out of DSR?
Overall?
Yeah, overall.
Overall, I'm gonna say Tuck.
Okay.
Now, hold on, but let me elaborate on it a little bit. It was a point in time where, in my personal opinion, during the whole DSR phase, the three people who went the hardest to me, four. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Tuck was number one at the time, and me and Tuck had a similar musical background. We were Screwed Up Click fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I could feel the shit he was saying more than some of the other cats, because it's like, all right, you know, we used to be Big Pokey, DJ Screw, Fat Pat, Lil Kiki, Hawk, you know what I'm saying? And Tom and Fat of them, they was big Cash Money fans.
Yeah.
But like Cash Money fans, like post Manny Fresh, you know, when you know, shit like that was going on. So it was tough. I'm gonna say Fat was probably two. Cause shit, this many times shit Fat and freestyle whole verses and people thought he wrote them shits down. I've been there, I seen this shit with my own 2 eyes.
Okay.
Three, I'm gonna say it was a tie between Tum Tum and Psycho B. Just, you know, my own opinion, cause even though Psycho B went on as many songs as everybody else, shit, Psycho B would get on and he would chopping boys' heads off. And you know, I'm not one of those type of people who uplift myself and shit like that because I'm humble. But and then Tom would get on the mic and he'll kill that hoe too. But the difference between us in that situation is, you know, it was a lot of 350 people around. And there was a time where certain divisions of Holly Hill was associated with 350. Mm-hmm. So the 350 guys, they did get a lot of support when they was rapping and shit. I mean, we did too, like if somebody from DSP or from Holly Hill was in the booth and we was freestyling. But, you know, they did get a lot of freestyle and a lot of support and shit, which if you fucking with somebody, you're supposed to do that anyway. So it ain't no hate, it's just, you know, what it was.
Right. So how did the DSR/DSP split happen?
This one happened, like I said, when the political shit was going on to where we had to cut down the group. And basically it was already decided. I won't say with my consent. I won't say consent because consent would be the wrong word. I didn't have the power or authority to do anything. All I could do is cast my ballot, my vote, like I say, because, you know, George was running the show. You know what I'm saying? George and so it was, you know, like I said, basically voted out. It was more like some political shit.
Is that the same thing with the whole DSP split as well?
No, the DSP split is like, it's a split, but it's not. It's musically split because, you know, we all have different creative ideas and stuff that, you know, everybody, you know, as you get older, you know, you see things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, we still friends and all that other type of stuff. You know, just music-wise, we just had, you know, all of us had a different opinion of music, and that's it.
Okay. All right, man, I got another hard question for you, man.
All right.
Might want to spark that cigarette up.
This already spark shit. I need to quit smoking the hell. I already know my old lady gonna kill me. Smoking out them cigarettes? Nah, go ahead though.
So, who do you think went the hardest out of DSP?
I think that all of us went the hardest in our own collective ways. You know, so you know, they had great chemistry together. You know, if y'all who ain't heard the DSP The Underground, go check that out. It's on YouTube and stream it. And Addiction to Gold Teeth Rabbit and OE and AD Trying to Get It. Yeah, but it was more about the chemistry than who goes the hardest and who doesn't. You know,
Okay. So, what albums do you have out right now?
Other than those I just told about, my first solo album ever, OE the Thrilla, still working on all platforms. Got a couple of videos on that on YouTube. And got an album out called Ocho, which was with me and Choshimi. So those two albums I got out. I actually had to step on my own too because, you know, you got to do all the production, got to do all the writing for the songs that I was on myself, recording, mixing, you know, be a little bit hands-on when it comes to shooting the videos, you know, a little bit, you know, hands-on in everything. So those are albums out right now. OE the Thrilla still working, OE, Choshimi.
Okay. All right, we're getting ready to wrap this interview up. So, man, where can people find you on social media, man?
You can find me on Facebook, OE the Thrilla on the track. You can find me on Instagram, OE the Thrilla, O.E.THATHRILLA. You can find me on Twitter at Thrilla Time. YouTube, you can check out my YouTube page, OE the Thrilla. Spotify, Google Music, which is finna be YouTube Music, you can check me out on there. Apple Music, what's some more? Raspberry, Pandora, iHeartRadio, everywhere music is streamed, you can check me out, everywhere.
Okay, good. Got one more question for you, man.
All right.
So, if you had a movie about your life, which actor would you have playing you?
What I have playing me? I'm gonna say my teenage years. Oh boy, Donald Ross's son, the one that played ATL, I can't remember his first name. And older me, I'd say like Omar Gooden Jr., some husky, handsome brother. Some husky, handsome brother that can pull off the calm side of me and the anger turned upside. You know what I'm saying? So shit, we saw P and Baby Boy, respect your elders, punk. I think he'll do a good job. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's who I'd give a shot at the title.
Okay. All right, wrapping it up, man. You got any closing remarks and shout outs?
Shout out to Dallas, Texas, man. Shit, music scene, just a lot of boys doing their thing. Shout out to the black entrepreneurs. Shout out to Houston. Got a lot of family in Houston. Shit, I got like 500-600 family members in Houston. Shout out to H-Town in my second home. Shit, man. Shout out to my family. Shit, that's about it.
Okay, y'all, that's a wrap right there.
Oh, and shout out to the man upstairs, of course, God. You know, nothing's possible without him. Shit, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have time, space, no matter without him. So.
Most definitely, most definitely. All right, y'all, we out. Starving Artist Visions, Thrilla Time Entertainment. Go get it.